this month's Stewardship Hour. I'm very excited. We're going to talk a bit about litter prevention and pickup here in James City County. And we're going to specifically talk about what the Clean County Commission, in conjunction with the Keep James City County Beautiful volunteer groups, have been doing, and how citizens can get involved on their own or with those organizations. Today, we are going to be talking with some great friends, and I can't wait to get started. So, without further ado, I'll introduce myself. I am Emma Zarin Newman. I'm a third grade teacher at Matoke Elementary School, and this is my volunteer position. Me and Peg Borman, we are the co-chairs of the Clean County Commission of James City County, and we do a whole bunch of very, I think, impactful things in terms of sustainability and helping out the environment. One of those things is litter prevention and pickup, and something near and dear to our hearts. So a little background on what the Stewardship Hour is. The Stewardship Hour is a way to keep citizens informed about county sustainability initiatives. We have this meeting every month, the second Thursday of the month. We will generally learn about a particular subject from an expert or someone who might have some more information about it. And we'll have a chance to engage, ask meaningful questions, and most importantly, walk away with specific action steps. What can we do about this problem now that we've learned about it? So today we'll learn about litter. We'll have time for a few questions. Then we'll jump into what we can do for on our own, what sort of actions we can take as volunteers, what kind of rules we can push to change, how we can support the economy, and then how you can share out the information about litter. So today we are going to understand how litter negatively affects our community. We're going to evaluate how citizens can best prevent litter in James City County. And we're going to learn about the Zero Tolerance for Litter resolution, which is honestly one of the reasons I got involved with this organization in the first place. I was really impressed by the Zero Tolerance for Litter resolution, and I thought citizens really can make a difference in their local government. And last but not least, we'll recognize the best ways and places to pick up litter. So first of all, let's talk about how does litter negatively affect our community? 25,000 accidents per year in the United States are caused by litter. Litter can carry and spread over 13 different germs, bacteria, and viruses that cause illnesses. That's definitely prevalent right now. Where does litter come from? Now, this is one of those things that I really want to challenge everyone to think about how our current economy really lends to litter. Think about how single-use packaging plays a huge role as you look at this information. The most common littered objects are fast food waste, paper, aluminum, glass, and plastic. 48% of Americans admit to littering on a regular basis. If you want to fact check me, I reference all my information at the end of the presentation. And cigarette butts make up over 50% of all littered objects. What is litter's impact on wildlife? An estimated 100,000 marine mammals and sea turtles die each year from plastic pollution. 270,000 tons of plastic are currently floating on the surface of the ocean. And 700 marine species are expected to go extinct because of plastic pollution. I was going to put up some graphic images on this page, but I decided not to. You can probably let your imagination take you there. But these are some dire facts. These are some big, important pieces of information that it's not just us on the planet. When 48% of Americans make the decision to litter, we are really impacting a lot of wildlife. But here's something that's really important to us as well. How does litter affect our economy? $2 billion is spent in Hampton Roads to clean up litter currently. And litter reduces property value by 7%. So, all of these facts being said, the Clean County Commission and Keep James City County Beautiful had put together this zero tolerance for litter resolution. I'll talk a little bit about that now, and then we'll have a chance to ask for some clarifying questions from our veteran members in a few minutes. So I won't read this whole spiel to you. If you'd like to read it in your head, you may, and I'll provide this PowerPoint to anyone who wants it after the presentation as well, if you want to take the time to read a little closer. But basically, for all the facts that we just stated, it was necessary to put some sort of zero tolerance for litter campaign out there. And the way it resolved itself is in a resolution passed by the Board of Supervisors, approved June 12th, 2018. And I put this up there. Notice there's a lot of text, and I'm a teacher and I should know better to not put all of this up here. But I thought that this is just so compelling about why it's important to have laws and resolutions that we speak out against litter. We actually have the support there to minimize litter whenever possible. So, whereas litter leaves a blighted stain on our quality of life and is destructive to wildlife and the natural environment, whereas littering is a crime and attracts additional criminal behavior, whereas littering influences others to litter, whereas James City County continues to have a litter problem and spends tax dollars to pick up litter along our roadsides and in our public spaces, whereas litter creates a negative impression for tourists and visitors, whereas James City County will increase enforcement of this crime, raise awareness about the act of littering, reduce the overall amount of litter, and will not tolerate this crime through the policy of zero tolerance for litter, whereas special attention will be given to vehicles hauling unsecured loads, active illegal dumping, and motorists or pedestrians improperly tossing away items, including cigarette butts. Other items of focus will be improperly containerized household garbage, commercial dumpsters, and construction debris. And whereas James City County is a leader in litter prevention and takes a proactive stance each day through litter education in the schools and partnering opportunities with neighborhoods and civic organizations, as well as regional, state, and national organizations. Sorry, it's a mouthful. Now, therefore, let it be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors of James City County, Virginia, does hereby proclaim a policy of zero tolerance for litter and encourages all citizens to work together, stand firm against the act of littering, and to act responsibly throughout the year for a cleaner community to preserve the natural beauty, quality of life, and health of our community. Now, I get really excited when I read things like this, but don't be fooled. The work is not done. It's just beginning. There's so much more to do when it comes to litter and litter prevention in our county, but this is a phenomenal jumping off point. So far, we're going to talk about where we go next, but so far, does anyone have any questions about the zero tolerance for litter resolution? You can either type a question in the chat or unmute yourselves and ask now. I just wanted to give everyone a chance to get a little breather before we talk about now what do we do about litter. All right, well, let's talk about some action steps. So we're going to talk about 5 different ways to get involved and ways that we can keep promoting our zero tolerance for litter campaign in different ways. So first things first, we have the lovely Peg here to talk about how we can, as individuals, take advantage of a new program from the Clean County Commission and use these litter loaner kits to go pick up litter in our own areas. Peg, would you like to talk a little bit about what we have going on here?
Well, we're going to launch it this Saturday with the loaner kits being available in twos or individuals. As you can see, she's taken a picture of some of the things that are in each kit. They've all been sanitized and will be ready for you to pick up at the expo. And we are giving you 2 weeks this time, and we'll take them back on Tuesday after next for return. And then we'll check out on a Tuesday with it being returned on a Tuesday. We're trying to make it so that 2 people can go out, or 4 people, or however many, wants to go out and pick up trash along the trails where you might be walking for your daily walk or just once a week. We have the grabbers, we have gloves, we have vests, and we have the orange bags. The orange bags can be disposed of at any of the convenience centers with no charge, but they do have to be, the garbage and trash has to be in the orange bags. So I hope that gives you a little sense of security to be able to do this and not worry about being exposed or in a secure sense. I can't talk. Y'all have to forgive me. But
right, everything is sanitized, as Peg said, and we're hoping that this is a way that we can still encourage people to be going out and picking up litter, even though we're not really supposed to be organizing any big litter pickups at this moment. This is sort of one of our many creative solutions to the current circumstances. So please stop by Tuning Road starting this Tuesday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock will be a chance to pick up a litter loaner kit. And as Peg mentioned, you can also come limited time only to our litter and recycling expo this Saturday morning. And you can have that loaner kit for 2 weeks if you'd like. So definitely take advantage of this. It makes things so easy. Personally, I'm a teacher and I've done this with kids before and they love it. So if you're in a family with kids, if you've got grandkids, this is such a great activity and they love the grabbers. And I've never met a kid who doesn't enjoy picking up litter when it involves grabbers and an orange vest. So another great education opportunity for the littlest members of our community. The next piece I wanted to talk about, and I hope Diane maybe would speak a little bit to how she goes about picking up litter, the veteran litter caretaker. I wanted to let everyone know about this litter index. So every year the Clean County Commission goes out and does a very thorough job of counting and evaluating the litter along the main roads of the county. This is just sort of a brief overview, but if you had this presentation as a PDF, you'd be able to click down here on these purple, I've learned how to do this. There we go. Click down here on these purple.
It's based
words.
It's based on the watershed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
5 watersheds.
Right. And so if you wanted to learn more about where in the county you could go to do a litter pickup, you want to expand outside your neighborhood, or you want to go somewhere that's the best bang for your buck, you can definitely refer to these records as areas that might be in need of some assistance. So I don't know, Diane, are you here, Diane?
I don't see her.
I thought she was down.
We will be doing a litter.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Peg.
We're going to do another litter survey on the November 18th. So it'll be a new survey going out.
How did you all do last year? Was there a change? Did we?
Well, as you can see in the last column there. The comparisons from 4 years ago. Overall, you've got the totals is 166 compared to 1.82.
So that's good.
We increased a little bit over the year before, but we went from November to January to do it because we couldn't do it back in the fall. So we did it in January of this year. Mm-hmm. And of course, there was no grass or leaves or anything on the roadway, so you could see it better, for one thing. But I still think we've improved a lot considering everything.
Seems better.
So just to clarify, Peg, would you be able to tell us what the numbers mean? What is a 1 or a 4?
Well, comparing it to other jurisdictions, our influence or our overall total is 1.82%. Some areas will maybe have 2 or 3 point something. So we have a lower number than other communities. Of course, I think ours is probably as low as any community that's at least in the state of Virginia.
So the lower the number, the better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure that we clarify that. And I'm not sure if, Diane, I'm not sure if you're here, but I would love to hear a little bit, if anyone has any tips about how to stay safe, best practice for when you're going out and picking up litter.
Is to wear those vests so they can see you. And also, I like to wear boots if you're in the grasses, and lots of bug spray, depending on the time of year. So
that's great. Wear those vests, boots, and bug spray.
And be sure to use the grabber so that you don't get poison ivy when you step off the grass.
That's really good advice. Absolutely. Any other words of wisdom about picking up litter?
I did have a few comments regarding litter in our environment. It is definitely there. That's a fact. Some people are thoughtless and uncaring. We can either sit back and do nothing and let the environment needlessly run amok, or we can step up and take some positive action. This does not need to be dramatic action. Instead, it really can be small, consistent steps in being a steward of the earth that has been left in our charge. Keeping in mind the words to that song, and forgive me, I'm not a singer, but for the beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the skies. So I keep that in mind sometimes when I'm walking along and looking up.
For the beauty of the earth.
Yes. By picking up litter, we can provide an example to all, especially, Emma, as you mentioned, to younger children and to other younger people, that one's actions can make a difference, either by contributing to a problem, those who litter, or by solving the problem, those who pick up the litter. And while picking up, one demonstrates the right action. And I've actually had on a number of occasions drivers stop as they're going past me and put the window down and say, "Thank you for picking up the litter."
Yeah.
So some people do recognize it and acknowledge it and appreciate the positive action. In addition, certain items picked up can be recycled. It doesn't all just go right immediately into the trash. Hence, we can reuse the Earth's resources, such as paper. Like, why should we keep cutting down trees more than absolutely necessary? Or as the aluminum cans, why do we keep mining for metal for one-time use? Thus, we can encourage residents to pick up litter and display their own example to others to spread this initiative. Besides this great exercise, walking, bending, stretching, even using hand movements with the grabber stick, and lastly, the sense of looking at a now clean site where once there was litter, lifts one's heart with hope and returns the site to the beauty that it was meant to reveal. I think that together we can make a difference.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Diane. I think we all needed to hear that. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I know that on the Adopt-A-Spot that the Ruitans picked up a couple of weeks ago, well, a month ago now, we picked up 60 beer bottles and recycled those, and several aluminum cans. So, however, the paper that we picked up was not reusable, so it had to go in the trash.
That's a really good point, that, you know, a landfill is certainly better than littering it on the side of the road, but it's not anywhere near as great as cleaning it off and recycling it and doing it the right way all the way.
Right.
Absolutely. Now here's something, some ideas that stem from the resolution for zero tolerance for litter. And there's just a couple ideas, but this is where the litter subcommittee has sort of steered to go. So if you're interested in joining some of these efforts, if some of these ideas seem inspiring to you, then I would really encourage you that when I send out the survey at the end of this Zoom, to please indicate that you're interested in joining that litter subcommittee, because they would very much like to have some new people and fresh ideas and some fresh energy. So please don't hesitate. It's up to you, the level of commitment, but it just takes people to get these things done. So some ideas were to work with VDOT to improve and maintain roadside appearance, putting up additional signage to let people know littering is illegal here, catching a litter bug, would be a program where citizens report roadside debris and dumping and other offensive littering actions. There's a lot of things to do with cigarette litter. You could partner with businesses. You could put receptacles at construction sites. There's even here, if you click that those purple words, write an educational grant. Ask HR Green has a grant that you can write to get you some money for a project too, if you were feeling inspired by that. You can always educate people about the resolution by partnering with churches, HOAs, school groups, community organizations, and partnering with youth. Partnering with youth offenders might be another outlet if that's something that is dear to your heart, to deter future criminal behavior and instill basic job skills, offer education on the impact of the environment. So there are some great things that can be done. These are the ideas of the subcommittee, that they might go in different directions. If someone came on board and said, I really want to tackle cigarette litter, then this is the group for you.
I might add that we have receptacles that we can give out with this for the businesses that need them with the cigarette litter. Mm-hmm. We purchased, I think, 30 of those at one time, and I think they're still sitting now in the warehouse.
Right. Yeah. The people really do appreciate those and use them. Instead of tossing a cigarette butt onto the ground, it's a receptacle so that someone who smokes cigarettes could keep it in their pocket without dirtying their pocket or burning anything. So,
and Ken, that might be interested to know that I'm giving out a lot of the cigarette little pocket ashtrays.
Oh, good. People like them.
Yeah.
And the next action we can tackle is contacting the powers that be. Now, the zero tolerance for litter resolution, and Kenzit, I'll let you speak to this a little bit if you like, is a resolution, which means that it's not technically law, but it could be. Kenzit, do you want to speak a little bit to this?
I don't really know that it would make a difference if it was an ordinance, if it was a law. I think the resolution certainly states all the facts and the ideas for helping with how to eliminate the litter. I think the commission and Keep James City County Beautiful work, we're really making progress. And several of these things on the programs and ideas of partnership and stuff actually were coming into fruition when all this COVID stuff started. I mean, it's been 9 months. Everybody's had to work from home and can't get together. And I know Chief Reinhardt was just really supportive. He and the police department, we gave them 3 presentations to make them aware of the zero tolerance for litter resolution, because sometimes people don't know, even people in the government are in the, so I think there's still a lot of good things on this paper that can be done. And once people can start getting back together again, they can certainly make a lot of progress. And these are interesting programs. So I think, I don't know that really having an ordinance would make a difference. That would, if I'm right, Peg, that would make it a law. But we don't really need to make it a law for the county as long as we have this commitment.
Yeah.
And we have this.
And I have that. I'm posting it on the table on Saturday, just in case anybody's
Right.
interested.
Right.
But I don't think that we need to come up with an ordinance.
One of the things that we wanted to do with this was to make people aware that littering is illegal and it carries penalties. I think a lot of people thought it was illegal, but they really didn't realize that you can be penalized $250 to $2,500 or time time in jail up to a year. So I think even for us at the time, we were a little surprised at, I can't remember to tell you the truth. I think I didn't know that these were on the state law books already, these penalties. And that now one of the things the resolution does is says that our supervisors in local government will no longer just look away. They will support these penalties.
That's true. That's true. They are very supportive of what we were doing. I was giving a monthly report now, but it turned out to be an annual report in September. But they are all working closely with us. And I've talked trash so much that they call me trash lady. But anyway, I think that with their awareness and their blessings, we put up 20 signs with different sayings on them throughout the county.
Right. And I also just want to say, too, I think when we had, what was the gentleman who went to Washington, Brian Hill in charge, he was extremely supportive of the Clean County Commission and the Keep James City County Beautiful. So we had a lot of support locally there. And, of course, Dawn Alexi was tremendous as our director. So we miss them.
Scott Stevens is very, very supportive.
Yeah, I've kind of lost. Is he good? I'm glad to hear that because I've lost track in the last year and a half or so. So I'm glad to hear that. Peg, does the county still pay for 4 additional pickups for garbage each year? Or, at one time they were doing that. I just wondered when I was reading the information today. The county was paying, I think, $75,000 additional money every year to do additional pickups along the roads in addition to what VDOT was doing.
Well, VDOT is still picking up, and the county picks up, like you said, 4 times a year.
They do.
But most of it's mostly on
the main highways and stuff.
That's
right.
The main roads.
Right.
And
exactly.
But VDOT, I have a schedule that they put out, and they do a lot of good.
Oh, they do.
And when I call them, or call one of the county, Christy Parrish, she's very supportive in picking up all the illegal dumps.
And they have, and you've had a hard time with those illegal dumps, I understand.
Yeah,
so.
But they're getting fewer.
Yeah, good.
So I'm going to move us along because we're running out of time. Yep. But I do want to then clarify. So contacting the powers that be, we're saying an ordinance is an option, but if you indicate in our exit ticket that you would be interested in pursuing how can zero tolerance for litter resolution get some more teeth to it? How can we make sure we're promoting it and that we're continuing to educate the public? Please check that off, and we can make that a conversation. I think that would be the place to start to figure out how to best support. And there are a lot of ways to support this, a lot of groups to contact, and many people in our local government who are throw their support behind this sort of thing. So there's many things to do. So if you're interested in pursuing that and asking more questions, then absolutely check that box when you get to it. All right, I wanted to highlight a local business, the Big Mouth Bagger. If you're interested, we use these bag holders when we go and pick up litter, and it makes it a lot easier if you are going out alone. If you've got 2 people, one person can hold the bag while the other one works the grabber. But with the Big Mouth Bagger product, you kind of assemble it with these PVC looking pipes. And it's a lot easier to have over your shoulder as you go out alone. So that is a company worth supporting, and they're local. And here's their information if you'd like to go after them and grab one for yourself. The last action we can take is sharing the video of this Zoom. Please stick around to fill out our exit ticket. Every single person, I'm looking at every single person, should make sure that they fill out this exit ticket. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, then you can probably find the exit ticket in the description. Please fill out the exit ticket so that we can get feedback on the stewardship hour, but also so that you can commit to action to prevent litter and to pick up litter in our county. There's a little bit of a pop quiz on it as well. But by sharing this video and by filling out that exit ticket, I'll have your email so that I can send you the video and the PDF so that you can pass it along to your friends, neighbors, and different organizations you're a part of. So that being said, the exit ticket is the last stop on our journey today. I'm going to ask that everyone please complete this survey. I'm going to send it in the chat feature in just a second. There's a little bit of a pop quiz. It is graded, but it won't go on your report card. You can sign up to volunteer this way. You can also sign up to get some emails from Keep James City County Beautiful so you can keep up with what we're working on locally. There's a couple other surveys that I also wanted to give everyone a chance to answer. If you look over here, there's a survey where you can give your feedback. They're planning to create a convenience center down in Grove. So if you'd like to give your feedback and give your 2 cents about what a convenience center should have in an ideal world, in a realistic world, you can feel free to fill that out. And we'll be sending that along to the people who are actually planning it. So please fill that out if you want to give us more information there. And then if you'd like to help plant a pollinator garden, this is
come to the expo.
Sorry?
I said, come to the expo on Saturday.
Oh, absolutely come to the expo. But if you want to help plant a pollinator garden at Veterans Park on October 17th, then you can fill out, this is our old stewardship hour survey. You can skip the other questions that don't have to do with this, but this is something that's coming up really soon. And I'll be sending out more information to our volunteers probably tomorrow. But you're the first to hear about it. And in order to get the exit ticket, you'll have to look in your chats in just 1 second. But I first want to tell everyone that on this slide, we have lots of great handouts and information. I told you I'd have references for my facts. Here are some other organizations to be involved in or to look into if you want to learn more about litter and you want to learn more about how to prevent it and how to pick it up. And finally, join us next time for composting. We're going to talk about composting with the Stewardship Hour, and that will be on November 12th. So I'm going to right now send this in the chat, and I'll let you know that this video will also be posted onto the county website, the county YouTube channel in a little while. It's a pretty quick turnaround that we send it over and it gets edited and posted on YouTube. So please, everyone, right now in your chats, find the chat feature on your panel that you have, your toolbar for Zoom. Look for the chat feature, and I just sent a link that says surveymonkey.com. If you click it, it should open up a separate browser where you'll be able to fill out our survey for today.
Emma, I think we need to confirm that the Litter Expo this Saturday is at War Hill High School parking lot.
Yes, ma'am. It is at War Hill High School parking lot. Please come out 8 a.m. until what time, Peg?
1.
8 a.m. till 1. Yep, please come out. It's sort of a one-stop shop for anything you want to get rid of. We take paint. We take, there's a shred-it truck. Restore will be there. There's a place to bring old clothes.
Electrical stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And Jolly Pond is right down the road, so you can kind of make it all in one trip if you wanted to bring the rest of your yard debris or something. We're close to the rest of the convenience center perks. So once you have the survey, please take a second to fill it out. I just sent it one more time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sorry to rush everyone out. I think that Zoom might shut down on us soon.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for coming out. And thank you all so much for talking today. That was phenomenal. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.